Okay, now it comes to tip number 6, and that is going to be you want to always be earning gold. I think that's really important because especially as you get towards the late game, things get really expensive. Like if you look at your perks, where's a good example? When you're upgrading perks, like on the third page, this is 600,000 just for one upgrade. So you throw in a couple upgrades, and now you're down a couple million gold. When it comes to upgrading equipment, I recently upgraded this Funeral of Gods from level 1 to level 70, and that alone cost 4.5 million gold. And when you start unlocking these blessings, every square here where you can put in an emblem costs a certain amount of gold for the blessing. And if you look, the second blessing costs 1.3 million. So I think if you unlock all the blessings, you're looking at close to 10 million gold just for one weapon. So if you count the cost to upgrade the weapon from level 1 to level 70 and unlock all those 6 blessings, you're potentially looking at like 15 million gold for one piece of equipment. And then you think of all the equipment for all your heroes, you're going to need a ton of cash to afford all of this, right? So what's the best way to earn gold? And there's no question in my mind, the best way is to do Joint Strike. And it's only available 1 hour every day, and it's not available on Sundays and Wednesdays. So 5 days a week, it's available, but only 1 hour a day. And if you are in Europe and that 1 hour is at 4 a.m., I really feel bad for you guys. You need to lobby Zlong to get you another hour where you can do Joint Strike. Joint Strike is available at 6 p.m. server time. So if you're in Chicago, 6 p.m. on any day except for Wednesday and Sunday, you want to spend that whole day farming Joint Strike. And like I mentioned earlier, you get about 1,350 stamina in an entire day if you're hoarding it. And I recommend spending at least half of your stamina, so at least 600, 700 stamina every day in Joint Strike, and just set it on auto and use AI mode and walk away. So even if it's 4 a.m. in Europe, I say consider setting an alarm, starting your Joint Strike, let it do auto, and just go back to sleep. And when you wake up, you'll have 4 or 5 million more gold in your account, and that gold is going to go a long way, especially when you get to the late game. Now, tip number 7 is going to be farm your perks. If you go to your perks section here, when you're looking at, these are the upgrades for all your different character classes, right? Like I'm going into the warrior tree here, and when you do these upgrades, every warrior in your party is going to get these stat upgrades of plus strength, plus HP, plus defense, and acquiring special abilities. And there's different rarity levels for the cost of these upgrades. Like in the first page, there's a lot of bronze material. In the second page, it becomes silver, and in the third page, it's gold. And then there's also an additional rarity of SSR beyond that. And my 7th tip is you want to get your early upgrades, the ones that are bronze and silver. You want to do those while you're low level. So like before you're level 60, you pretty much want to take care of all your silver and bronze upgrades. And if you look, most of my trees are fleshed out except for the warrior tree, because Mulan just came out and I don't have her, and I'm not planning to get her anytime soon. I mean, I'll probably get her eventually. And there's also Gaia coming out in maybe a month. So eventually I will build up a warrior, but for now that's the only tree that I have not leveled up. And the reason why is you don't want to be like where I am, close to level 70, and then you have to go back and you have to farm these bronze material levels, because you're just going to crush those enemies in one attack. One AoE attack is going to wipe out all those enemies because you're so powerful. But then you're spending a lot of stamina grinding low-level missions, which is not what you want to do. So as you're coming up, you want to take care of all the first 2 pages of your your Grand Archive perks, you want to get these pages fleshed out. So like if you look, my Guardian Tree, the first page is maxed out, second page is almost maxed out except for this one ability. You want to get those first 2 pages cleared out as soon as possible. And the way you do that is by farming Grand Archives 1 and 2. Now, to do that successfully, like going into Grand Archives, this is Grand Archives 1, you have to realize that you're going to need a physical damage team and a magic damage team. You need both to progress in this game. Or you're going to have to rely on others to carry you, but I really recommend just having 2 separate teams, a physical team and a magic team. And this is tip number 8, is you got to have both. And the reason why is each Grand Archives favors one type of tree. So this is Grand Archives 1 right now. And if you look in the lower left, it says magic attacks do less damage. If you click on this, it'll show the progression of magic damage reduction that happens. So since Grand Archives 1 is the physical damage tree, your magic users are going to be at a disadvantage here. And by the time you get to level 45, magic damage resistance is going to be 100% for all the enemies. So when you get to level 45 here, then your magic users are going to do no damage at all. And it's the opposite for the other Grand Archives. So if you have a physical damage team of like Lucifer and Lilith and Jester and them, if you're in Grand Archives 2, once you hit level 45, you're going to do no damage with those characters. And that's why you need a magic team of like Merlin and Abe and Mary. So tip number 8 is make sure you're building 2 separate parties, one with magic damage, the other with physical damage, because when you hit level 45 and above, you're going to hit a wall and you're not going to be able to do any damage. Now tip number 9 is going to be speed kills. And if you saw my previous video about gems, you'll know that my strategy for gems is try to form the set first. Well, I've kind of made an exception to that, and this was pointed out by someone on that gem video, is you do want to look for certain stats in your gems. So here I've been farming Astral Shore for a while, so I picked up all these gems that I haven't looked at yet. And one of the things I'll do when I get a whole bunch of gems is I will go through and, like looking at the blue gems, I'm looking at the stats on the left here, and I'm trying to find gems that are speed or physical evasion or whatever statistic you're trying to farm for that's really important to you. For me, that's speed and physical evasion. Those are the 2 things I'm targeting right now. So here's a speed gem, and when I find one, I lock it. Like this is an old gem, but like let's see if I can find a new one. Well, that's an old one. So you can see speed is kind of hard to find. You don't get it all the time. It could take you a while of farming a bunch of gems before you get a good one. Okay, so none of my new gems had speed, but when I do find one, I lock it so that I don't accidentally melt it. And then I will put it on certain characters, like Poseidon is the big one, that if you get him going really fast, my Poseidon has 230 speed, which isn't the best, but it's kind of fast. And then the speed gems are only in 3 spots. The dark, the water, and the light gems can have speed. The earth and fire gems, I don't think can ever have speed. So target speed in those 3, the dark, light, and water spots. And the reason speed is important is because that determines who goes first in combat. So if you have a team where your team is faster than the other team, you will take your moves before the enemy does. And if you can attack them before they can attack you, you're probably going to win, like 9 times out of 10. Now, tip number 10 is you want to use the stores for maximum efficiency. And an example of that would be, I just got this Glory of the Dead from my gambling video previously, and now I'm leveling it. And here I need 3 magic mithril. So one of the things you could do if you need something like Magic Mithril is you could go to Astral Shore, and then I could farm something like level 45 here, and I would get 1 or 2 Mithril per turn, but then I'm spending a lot of stamina to grind that one item. Or, instead, what I prefer to do is you can just go to the Arcane Shop, and here I'll just purchase 11 Mithril, and then you can upgrade it instantly. And then I didn't spend that stamina. I can use it on something more important, like grinding higher level missions. So here I still need 2 more Mithril, so I'll go back and get 2. And then I also need a Hammer of Creation, so I'll go to the gear shop, and I'll get a Hammer of Creation here. So use the stores, because they're going to be the most efficient way that you can get these upgrades. I gotta purchase the upgrade first. Yeah, so use the stores, and that's tip number 10. Okay, good luck. Have fun, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video.